Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the October 19th, 2021 meeting of the Town of Manchester Planning and Zoning Commission. Tonight, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the September 21st, 2021 minutes.
I've reviewed these and I would recommend approval of the minutes.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the minutes as written.
A second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Thank you. Michelle, what do you have for us?
As you can see, I've given you all a lot of comments from the Equine Meadows. Robert Holbeck has approached me about getting a public works agreement now for that off-site storm drain, and we have stopped him on that until we get some review back from the county on his plans. And Mr. Lamont has expressed some concern about it, so I think he'll probably be attending the next time Equine Meadows is here. They just got the plans this week to start reviewing, so I don't know how quickly we'll get anything back on that. The Carroll property, I haven't heard a thing on that. I don't know what's going on with that. The Martin property, the one that had originally talked to us about annexation, I'm assuming is no longer interested. We haven't heard from him or heard back. We met today with the Lippy kickoff, and we're putting together the scope for the traffic study at this point. And let me see, the water sewer master plan triannual update, we're going to that is due, we're meeting with Price in November to get that finalized. And of course, you know, our rental housing was revised for $200 a unit for cost, and Steve and I and Mr. Cuneo, and I'm not sure who else, will be meeting with the landlords.
Councilman Richardson.
Next week. So that's all I have for you.
Very good. Steve, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, one big thing that I want to bring to the Commission's attention was the signing of the MOA, the Memorandum of Agreement between the 8 municipalities in Carroll County in regards to cost sharing when it comes to stormwater management projects. This is version 2. The first one was signed back in 2014. That expired, and this is the second one, and this is perpetual. So, you know, the communication between the county and the towns is working out great, and at the end of the day, the cost sharing between the towns and the county has gone down. So each municipality will be able to save some money along the way. So we're pretty happy about that. That was a big deal. So, yep, that was signed October 7th. That's it for me.
I do have a question for both of you. Actually, Councilman Cuneo, I'll let you go first for the council report, and then we'll
Okay,
get into that.
sure.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. In addition to the normal council business, the council did approve 2 new ordinances as they relate to new residential dwellings. First was the safety service fee. They went from $350 to $1,500 per equivalent unit. And second was the park service fee that went from $200 to $1,000 per equivalent unit. And so that was in addition to the conversation we had with the landlords that were here on last Tuesday night as far as the increase in the rental fee. That was last week's council meeting.
Very good. Thanks, sir.
Yep.
Jumping back to you two about the kickoff meeting with the folks, Mr. Hill's group and all the associate engineers. Am I correct to understand that the scope of practice goes from their engineers to the county, to the state regional office, and then once everybody approves, then the traffic study's done?
You're almost right on that. I believe the county wants to work with the town in regards to coming up with the scope of work that the engineering firm, the traffic group, will be doing. And then it will be going off to the state for approval.
Okay.
I did mention to one of the county staff members today who was involved in the meeting, Andrea Barco, I didn't bring it up during the meeting because this is something that we can talk about when we put together the scope. But I would like to see some idea, if they have enough background information, not for that intersection, but other intersections, that if that traffic would come out north of Maple Grove without a signalized intersection, what would be the chance of accidents in that area compared to traffic coming out at a signalized intersection? And Andrea said that's not out of the question. They have enough background information from other jobs that they can come up with that. So that points me in a direction of course, common sense is going to tell you that a signalized intersection is more safer than a non-signalized intersection, but it's just some information that I would like to know,
So so we have that now, correct?
we would have to, the traffic study group, Linhart, cannot request that information. It would have to come from either the town, probably the town, not even the county, on behalf of this project. So we would have to gather that information for the number of accidents at Maple Grove and 30, let's say.
So if you go back to the statistical records of fire and EMS in Company 4, and then we have that offset now at Charmel Drive. So I guess anecdotally, we have that information just to glean.
It's possible to use Charmel Drive.
It's just going to be the volume difference is going to coming on and off of Charmel Drive will be the issue.
That's correct.
And so I thought in our previous discussions, I'm just trying to get all this back into my mind because I politely forgot about a lot of it.
Right, yeah.
This is one of the big things we discussed in committee about the reason for that intersection. And then there was the lack of ability to obtain the appropriate property to make that happen. That's one thing that's been sticking in my mind. Wasn't there an access or a property rights or a throughway issue?
There was question about where right-of-way was available, who had to sign off on rights to redevelop a portion, yes.
Okay.
Not necessarily something that should drive the desired outcome until it becomes an unobtainable condition.
I just saw our meeting today, very, informative. Glad we had it. It did what it had to do. I'm just trying to think 3 steps ahead that we get this traffic study. I don't think there's going to be any surprises. I really don't. It is what it is, and now that school's back in session.
Yeah, and we've looked at a numerous number of traffic studies throughout the, course of time, and yeah, Route 27 and 30, that's a failing intersection. Well, we know that. But let's put some meat into this and really, really think through it. What do we want out of this,
Well, I think with what we've started with the multi-study portfolio, I think it's only going to point in one or two directions.
That's correct. We'll see that whole big picture.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Very good. Okay. Great. Price, so good to see you again, my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How's everything over in Westminster?
It is going.
Good.
Trying to.
Price, make sure that mic is on for us. That was the media center calling saying they couldn't hear us very well, so.
It sounds like it's on.
Okay.
Did they call into the headset from the review booth? Is that
Yep.
what it was?
All right, a couple things. Just in general, just county planning aspect of things. Tomorrow is our first meeting for the Conservation Ag Work Group, Zoning Text Amendment Work Group we have. There's 14 members. If you include staff, we have 18 total. We have them from all over the ag conservation area. We have realtors, the Bar Association, Ag Pres, Farm Bureau, Land Resource Management. Obviously, on our end, we have, the planning staff, and I do, the water and sewer stuff, which for ag pres and agriculture and conservation isn't a factor because you typically have septic and well on that aspect. So tomorrow's our first meeting. We're looking to have a meeting once a month for the next 6 months for 2 hours. It could go longer. We could have more meetings depending on what all we get into. We've looked at a couple areas that county-wise, we sort of see as, not concerns, but just interesting things that come up. Contract equipment storage yards, like the bed and breakfast and country inns and event type centers, how that works. Accessory dwelling units is becoming another one. Commercial kennels, and then of course we have, aspects of commercial campgrounds, camping, that kind of thing. We've had some people call in about maybe wanting to do more on their land than just farming it, if they could actually have a couple campsites, that kind of thing. So we're gonna sort of see what is possible, if anything's possible, wording wise. But also we've looked at other counties around us, so Baltimore County, Hartford County, Howard County, Montgomery County, Frederick County, to sort of see what some of their regulations say in some of these type areas. So that's the next big thing. The residential portion of the code has gone to, the planning commission's already looked it over and forwarded it to the Board of County Commissioners. So they're beginning their work groups, I believe, in the middle of November. They'll probably have 1 or 2 work groups, maybe 3, and then they will move forward with potentially adopting the zoning code for the residential portion and any map changes if there are any, but there's only 2 rezonings that have come forward, and they were by request, and they're both in the Freedom area. So county-wise, sort of what's going on with the zoning aspect or the county, that's the biggest update we have. The other big update is, as Michelle mentioned, is twofold. Yes, it is time for the triennial update, which is the update of the water and sewer master plan every 3 years. And we'll be having a meeting with town staff in November. So what we'll do is look over the maps and the chapter and pretty much update the chapter for just usage in general, because more than likely things have changed. People have moved in, more buildings have been built, so the usage may have gone up. Look at, so how it goes towards the demand aspect of things. So we'll look at that aspect. Then, of course, looking at the map, which fortunately, a lot of those amendments, a lot of those changes to the map actually being done right now during the amendment cycle. So I am running an amendment cycle concurrently with the triennial update. And there's a good possibility that in the spring, there'll be amendments before the update is actually finished. So at this point in time, with the amendment cycle we have going on, I sent it to Michelle. Hopefully she has it. She was able to print it out and put it in your packets. But we have a sewer amendment and a water amendment for the town. So for the sewer amendment is to remove the 3 Russells LLC property, just the portion that's within the town limits, not the portion that's outside. Of course, the portion outside is not actually in the water and or sewer. And move them into what's considered long range. Then we would add I call it the Woodhaven building development properties, but it's the Lippy property and what is also known as the Old Town subdivision, which was granted back in the 70s, which never went forward. So my understanding is we're gonna have demand for 32 lots, move that into priority. There are already 8 lots on the Lippy property that are in the town's water and sewer existing service area, even though they're not connected, but they're in there. So we're moving them from what we have is right now, no planned service or long range, which during the comp plan that the town did in 2018, moved those into the priority system. So we're moving that into the priority, that demand, as well as just making the map show that they're ready to connect when that project moves forward and goes forward. And then, of course, the PV Manchester Patriots Overlook, looking to add the demand for the lots that are outside the service area, or move them, if they're in future, moving into priority. So the sewer side, there's 3 amendments. And again, that'll just look at changing the maps. And just to give you an idea, so for the Lippy Brothers property, that's gonna add 8,000 gallons total to the service area. For Patriots Overlook, that will be 2,750 gallons for water and sewer. Now, for the water side, is the exact same thing, the Three Russells LLC property, the Lippy Woodhaven building, and the PV Manchester property. But the one that's in the water service area that's not in sewer is the Wayne Thomas property, or the Thomas Tree Farm. They are looking to go into ag res, so working with ag preservation, we are removing their property from the water service area. And by our calculations, with the buildable land inventory of how that property is zoned, they have the potential for 107 lots. So in actuality, we're now removing 26,250 gallons of water from your overall plan. So that 26,250 actually helps in bringing in Lippy Brothers and those properties that weren't accounted for before. So it's a good wash. At the same time, you're also, now your demand towards your capacity has gone down, because now you don't have potential for 107 homes tied into the system anytime. So that is what we're here for, is to look at and ask that, yes, what this amendment is doing is accurate, and yes, is it accurate, and is it consistent with the overall comprehensive plan for the town?
Questions from the commission for Price? Nice job of framing that, by the way.
Thank you.
Any questions? Everybody good? Okay, take a motion to accept the amendments as stated.
I'll make a motion to accept the amendments as stated.
Okay, motion on the floor to accept the fall 2021 amendment as stated.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So approved. Very good.
Thank you.
Nice job. All right, sir. Take care. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. Well, anything from the booth on public comment? From the replay official?
Nope.
All right, so we are due back here on November 16th. So I'm gonna do a little forecasting, so you'll probably have something the 16th from, you think you might have Equine in or somebody else?
Or possibly, the solar project right now is, it's a site plan, so we just need preliminary and final. And they are in preliminary review right now.
Good.
So depending on how many of those we get back, comments, we might be seeing them.
Okay. Anything else for November?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Now, what's your thoughts on the 21st of December? Should we make that a go? Or you want to wait and see what November brings? Because that'll most likely tell us what December's going to bring, isn't it? You're a smart person. I'm glad you're here. Very good. Okay. So we'll be back here on November 16th at 1900, 7 p.m. And we will see what they have for us. Very good. Have a safe Halloween if you're going trick-or-treating. Okay? Remember, you can dress up as your favorite Manchester citizen and go trick-or-treating, right?
Right.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Have a good night. Adjourned.